All right, guys, the moment we've been waiting for has finally arrived. We've been waiting 7 years for this moment. Yes, you heard that right. We've been waiting 7 years. We've all been waiting 7 years for this moment. Steel Ball Run, episode one, is finally out, and I mean it was absolutely peak. It was everything we've been waiting for.
Peak fiction. And listen, guys, Steel Ball Run is now rated as like the highest anime, and it's barely even scratched the surface of like the complexity of how it'll go. But we'll get into that later.
I mean, this entire episode. I mean, I was thinking about it and I was trying to think where it ranks among like first episode of each JoJo part. I mean, it might be like really number one. I mean, kind of pops off uh pretty quick. Like it's just a great introductory episode. It's probably up there like what part one, part five's first episode, part one's first episode. Like I mean, it's just a great first episode. I mean, I think that reflects with it being the highest rated anime ever with only just this first episode because it was just so peak.
And remember, guys, it's the highest rated manga that has been completed. Listen, Berserk's number one, but it's not completed. But JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7, Steel Ball Run, has been completed. And we watched this episode and we genuinely loved it. Like it just starts off with like, Sandman just running. And when I first saw Sandman running, I'm like, why is he running so funny? And I remember reading the manga, I was like, okay, yeah, he's gonna run like a white man. And then finally he just runs like a white person. He comes in, they skip like the whole like certain stuff from the manga about like the gyro throwing his balls against the wall, pause, and him reading like the white man's book. But he basically is like, hey, I'm gonna go save my people by competing in the white man's race across this continent. That's fire writing. And that's just one of the five people that we're going to talk about, the four others.
Right, then we get our introduction to Gyro, and I mean, it's just one of the best character introductions we've ever seen in JoJo. Like the amount of aura this man gives off. I mean, it kind of just reminded me of when Polnareff got first introduced, and he kind of low-key embarrassed Avdol for a minute. I mean, of course he got beat, but Gyro, you know, a thief steals a couple of his coins. He uses the spin to embarrass him. This dude tries to come back out and shoot him. The police tackle him, but he's like, nah, I'm not pressing charges. Let him go. Give him his gun back too. And dude grabs the gun and tries to shoot Gyro. And he just uses the steel balls to make the dude shoot himself in the face. And he just walks away. Like that's just
It's
pure
crazy.
aura.
It's crazy. And the thing is Johnny sees this too, and he's like, yo, mister, let me touch your balls. And the thing is the spin, it sounds like Haman because it's the alternate version of Haman. And this episode, we're not even going to go into spoilers, but we don't see any stands at all. This is JoJo, no stands. What's going on? We don't see any single one. But Johnny basically wants to touch Gyro's balls, and his legs move. He literally stands up, and now Johnny's like, "What's up with this?" So now Johnny really wants to join the Steel Ball Run race. But one thing that's funny is Johnny jumping towards Gyro in a wheelchair is absolutely hilarious. It's like when King what's his name, Polnareff, when he got thrown in the wheelchair. It's crazy.
Right? Seeing Johnny actually like animated in a wheelchair just I mean it makes things so much funnier to see him actually just moving that compared to the manga where it's just drawings.
And the way that Gyro just uses like it's an open hand. He literally picks him up with an open hand and places him on a ceiling. I find that scene hilarious. But that's like the first like 15 minutes of like the episode. Then finally, Johnny, he gets his horse, he enters the race, and he's like trying to train it. And finally he gets up on that horse, man, by using the spin. It's amazing. Like spin, like you know what I mean.
Right. And this episode, so it was 46 minutes long. Uh, I'm not sure if all the other episodes are going to be 46 minutes as well, but because of the longer length, it was actually able to cover, I believe, the first 10 chapters of the manga. So we actually got to see the very first leg of the race, and it was
No
pretty
cliffhangers.
exciting. Like just to see, I mean, we just get to see Gyro use more of the spin basically to his advantage, and Johnny's just kind of in the back watching. But because they cover the first leg of the race, we do get to see, I mean, one of like the top five characters in part seven introduced, and that's Poco Loco.
Diego Brando and uh, Johnny Joestar, Gyro, and Sandman. It's amazing. Poco Loco, Diego Brando, Sandman, Johnny, and Gyro. See, we kind of get to see origins of Sandman, Johnny, and Poco Loco. Now, Poco Loco, alternate universe, Enya the Hag's like, hey, look, you're so lucky. You have the luck of like 1 in 5 billion. So he's fortunate enough to basically like be lucky throughout this whole entire like race. We don't see too much information about Diego intentionally, nor do we see information about Gyro Sapelli intentionally. But the other characters, we'll find out more about them, and one of them will win the Steel Ball One race. It was beautiful, especially towards like the final leg of the race where it was all three of them, and Sandman's just on feet, which is like crazy. And yeah, we'll get back into this later, but I find it interesting that there's a few notable characters I want to mention. Steven Steele, Lucy Steele. By the way, yes, she is 14. And Mountain Tim, Avdol, alternate universe Avdol. He's interesting. Really, those are like the notable characters that we saw during this part. And, you know, we see at the beginning that Steven's basically a promoter trying to say that, like, hey, look, I set up this race. Now, we didn't see the whole, like, ice, like the trophy and the ice scene. We haven't, and the miniature horses, but I'm sure something like that might come up later.
I think my personal favorite part or parts of this episode really was just any scene with Poco Loco in it, because I mean he's just the luckiest man in the world, and basically everything goes his way. I mean he's just kind of a peak character to be honest.
You know what's interesting is we hear "Hey Ya" mentioned like kind of towards like the part of an ad. We hear "Hey Ya," but like that's background voice. But we actually hear a stand. Okay, I know that for this episode they didn't want to show any stands, you know, to make you start wondering. But we hear "Hey Ya." We hear also his stand talking to him during the race. I found that interesting, and also Poco Loco's so lucky that his numbers are 777. And if you didn't know, Poco Loco is a part one character. He was a white British boy in part one, and part seven now he's a black man. So that's interesting.
Oh, and speaking of them not fully showing Hey Stand and some of the other stuff, for anyone anime onlys, I mean if you're interested in this or maybe manga readers but you haven't picked it up in a while, there are some I mean, there's minor differences all throughout the show. You know, they cut out some small things, rearrange things. There are a few major differences. One, obviously, in the manga, they just straight up show uh, what Poco Loco Stand Heya looks like. We just get like a full reveal in the anime. Of course, it's just a whisper. And then also, uh,
Sandman.
spoiler warning if you're anime only, but in the manga Sandman, I mean, we get to see the chase in a little more detail. We actually see our first look at a corpse part that he kind of stumbles upon while he's running away, and we see his sister as well. They did not show any of that in the anime, which makes sense because I guess they're really trying to not spoil things. They also didn't have an opening that spoiled like the entirety of the show, like some certain other JoJo openings.
Yeah. Honestly, this episode was just a teaser. If you look at the Netflix trailers and teasers, it's everything about the first stage. It has nothing to do with like future episodes. We don't even know when the second episode will come out. Honestly, it hasn't even been announced. So we're in the shadows. We don't know if it's going to be batches or just like weekly. We want it to be weekly. We need it to be weekly. That would be amazing. And I find it all interesting that like, look, this episode is highly rated. This is like, guys, we've barely scratched the surface of Steel Ball Run. This is just the first stage. Listen, they told us that we're heading all the way to New York City. They're not even like halfway there. They just
God,
went from San Diego to the desert.
guys, I'm telling you right now, you know how in part four, you have the first half, it's kind of slice of life, and people are like, it's not that great, but then the second half, Kira gets introduced, and it's like the best thing ever. I'm saying, as part seven goes along, I mean, it's an exponential growth in peakness.
And listen, if it's already at a 9.9 out of 10 so far, where it beats Frieren, which Frieren isn't as like as complex in terms of like story writing and whatnot. It's just about feelings, more slice of life casual. It's not as complex. Steel Ball Run's just like greater in that regard. And if you're liking the first episode already, if everyone's liking this first episode already, then just imagine what's going to go on. Like the final, usually in JoJo, the final episodes are like the best. I can't wait for that to get animated. No spoilers, but it's perfect. I can't wait to see that.
And get ready for episode two. Well, I guess it depends. Um, I wonder if episode two will just be like 23 minutes or something. I mean, if it's long like this one, just prepare because I mean, even more some crazy stuff is gonna happen.
Oh, is this the Oye Como Va? Yeah, maybe.
So we might see some actual stands at work in episode two, depending on how long it is.
Yeah, but the question is do we know when episode two will come out? No, we don't. Anyways, we barely scratched the surface. But one little comment that we're going to talk about is apparently there's going to be more Steel Ball Run LARPers. They're going to be fake fans talking about it. I saw something about a particular figure and how he's participating in the race, and no, he's not. Um, yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but we saw Mountain Tim, the cowboy from Wyoming. I honestly clapped when I saw him on screen. Same with Diego and all of them. Even Abdul. Hearing Abdul's theme too was amazing.
Yeah, but listen up, JoJo fans. Be prepared. I mean, if this goes how we think it should go, with this widely being considered the best JoJo part by a long shot, I mean, hopefully it does reach the levels of popularity like JJK and Chainsaw Man have. But if it does, you're gonna have to deal with the JoJo fan base becoming similar to those fan bases online, and just try to ignore it as best you can,
Yeah, and with all that being said, like and subscribe.
and hype the video.
Yes, if
Peace.
your heart is wavering, dear audience, subscribe. Peace.
Peace.